The date is August 7th, 2023, and I will be talking about how abortion saves lives. Hundreds of thousands of children are put into the foster care system each year in the United States. In 2022, Roe v. Wade was overturned, making abortion either completely illegal or heavily restrictive in many states. It is completely illegal in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Idaho. It is heavily restricted or in the process of being completely banned in states such as Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska, Wyoming, Utah, and Arizona. This is significant because making abortion inaccessible to women is against the U.S. Constitution. In the 14th Amendment, it says, "No state shall make or enforce any law that shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property." As a teenage girl living in the United States, the overturning of Roe v. Wade affects my life and my freedom over my body. I am 16 years old. I and other girls my age are not ready to birth and raise a child. I will be speaking on the fact that children whom are born due to lack of abortion accessibility are likely to end up in a neglectful household or the already overwhelmed foster care system. I will also be touching on the fact that abortions will keep happening in unsafe environments. My third main point is that women who are victims of rape will not be able to have an abortion and are now forced to raise a child that they did not choose. Children who are born due to lack of abortion accessibility are extremely likely to be born into a neglectful or abusive household, or be put into the foster care system. 1 in 8 children in the U.S. endure abuse. That is 7.2 million children. About 1 in 180 children are put into the already overwhelmed foster care system, which is over 400,000, according to the article by Administration for Children and Family on the National Data of Foster Care as of 2021. This is important because if abortion is now inaccessible, there will likely be even more children that are neglected or abused, and even more children that are put into the foster care system. This is because the people that do need abortions are unfit to care and house a child, oftentimes. There are countless stories of children who endured multiple forms of abuse within the foster care system. For example, in a video titled "Former Foster Care Children Say They Endured Abuse for Years," posted on YouTube by the channel WCVB Channel 5 Boston, a victim named John Williams details and describes torture while in the foster care system. If more and more children are being put in the foster care, then the likelihood of this increasing is very plausible. For people who do want to adopt children, the process is long and there are many requirements in order to do so. Depending on the age of the child, there are many requirements in order to do so. Depending on the age of the child and various situations, it can take anywhere from multiple months to 7 years. Plus, it costs anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 after the fact. Because of these things, many people do not want to go through the process because it's just so tedious and long. Many people that need an abortion need it because they live in poverty. In fact, women that are in the poverty bracket are 5 times more likely to need an abortion, according to Brookings.edu on abortion within poverty. If there are women who cannot afford to provide for themselves, then how are they expected to provide for a child? The children that are born into poverty are also likely to have poor education and poor access to healthcare. I will now be moving on to my next point. Abortions will continue to happen in unsafe environments. For the fetus, abortions in a medical setting are painless. Whether it's a pill that is ingested or a minimally invasive procedure, the fetus doesn't feel a thing. This is important because if an abortion happens in an unsafe environment, it is possible that the fetus will be hurt. It's also possible that the at-home abortion will not work and the child is born with defects. When unsafe abortions are performed, the woman is extremely likely to face complications that can even result in death. There are many ways for women to miscarry a fetus. If they ingest extremely high dosages of ibuprofen, it can cause liver or kidney failure, but it is proven that it can cause a miscarry. In rare cases, it can be fatal as well. Another common way that abortions happen is with a sharp object or a wire that is used to break the amniotic sac. This can cause infection in the uterus and, like I said, doesn't always work. Though it is hard for statistics on unsafe abortions to be recorded, an estimated 5 to 13% of deaths in pregnant women happen because of unsafe abortion procedure. I will now be moving on to my last point, which is about sexual assault victims. Now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned, that means women who have been raped will not have access to abortion. 32,000 women who have been raped have gotten pregnant in the U.S. ages 12 to 45. If abortion is legal for everybody, then it's illegal for victims. Women who have been raped did not choose to give birth. They should have the choice to have an abortion because they are often unprepared for the baby and they've already gone through a tragic event. Rape victims that have become pregnant often become resentful of the child. Although there is an emotional aspect to this argument, it is important to mention again, it can endanger the child. Rape victims that have been impregnated are usually not aware that they're pregnant and therefore are unprepared for the baby. After carefully researching and reviewing all the pros and cons of abortion access, it's clear that it's important and necessary for the abortion to be readily available. Overall, abortion should remain legalized because it helps minimize children in neglectful households and foster care. It eliminates the risk of unsafe abortions endangering the mother and fetus, and abortions protect rape victims from having to raise a baby that wasn't wanted.